Hi everyone. I just want to give you a brief introduction to the flip lecture for today. And I'm starting in our week 12 folder. And just to point out that I did do an additional tips for the TPAC lesson, but that is a separate video that I put in the week material. So I'm going to go ahead and just go into the flip lecture. And obviously you've already gotten into the introduction. The second part of the lecture is another piece by one of our methods faculty, Dr. Katie Swalwell, and she is a new assistant professor with us in the School of Education, and I think that you'll find by her energy that she has a lot of passion for her content and shares with you again what in social studies methods, elementary social studies methods, when you get there, you'll be covering in content and in pedagogical approaches. She also mentions how, there's pedagogical approaches from other content areas that she incorporates into social studies. So you can kind of see where, the ebb and flow, there's a lot of instructional methods and we share between the content areas. So I think that will be a useful video for you. Then I have put down the reading. I've just moved this in here too. This is the one reading that I have for you for the social studies content, at least until this point. And just take note of this one from that idea of what these authors tried to do was situate you in three pedagogical approaches or contexts: that of giving information, prompting information, and making information, all within the contents of technology and social studies. So it's a really good article and one that gives you a really good situated feel for what it will be like and the types of activities in these three levels that you can provide for your students. Then what I do is I have you exploring two different things related to social studies. And again, the flip lecture comes at a really good time because you guys, it's hard for me, if I were just to lecture about a web quest or lecture about a virtual field trip, it's not the same because really what you need to do is spend some time and do some hands-on on the computer looking at some of these. So what I have done is first for you to explore a web quest. The article also makes a wiki or mentions a wiki, W-I-K-I, and so what I did was I actually made a wiki. This is a wiki, and I can talk about this a little bit more in class so that you kind of know how you would do this, but it's a great tool for putting together resources in your classroom, and then you can just give your students the link to that. It's a lot like it's semi like Wix or something like that, but it's a little bit different. It's still a little bit different than that type of tool. So what I've done is I've gone through some web quests that I thought you might enjoy looking through. From my standpoint, I would like you to have a look at more than one, but once you get to your exit ticket, you're going to have to talk about at least one that you explored. You guys, with the web quest, please look at the format. Kind of get into the how is it organized. These are web quests, actual web quests designed by teachers for classroom use, okay? So like this is one for second grade students, although I think older students could use it as well, okay? So just have a look at it and kind of explore it a little bit and see what you can find. And I've just picked a few here. Now, if you're, hopefully, you will go and you will kind of learn more about what a web quest is, okay? Kind of what is it? Bernie Dodge at San Diego State made it, but what are some other things that you could find out? And then, you guys, just so that you know, there's web quests on all kinds of subject area. I've pulled out certain ones on social studies, but even in social studies, you guys, there's over 1,000 on this site. I've just pulled out a few so that, again, scaffold your experience so that you aren't just all over the place. But go in here, look at some. Look at some for literacy. Look at some for science. Look at some for math. They're in there, and they are by grade level, okay? So that is that part. And then, oops, sorry. Um, then the last part is take a virtual field trip. This is another aspect of social studies that we're seeing more and more. On the web, there are a lot of experiences for students to go out, teachers included, and take a virtual field trip. I put up just some, Natural History Museum has great ones. There's great 360-degree panoramic views of the 7 wonders of the world. There's a tour of the White House. Now you have to navigate these a little bit carefully. It's not just right out there. It's not like you step into this virtual environment and go through things. But there's some interesting things, okay? So again, for students who will never be able to travel to Washington, D.C., will never be able to travel to the San Diego Zoo, there are great options to provide them, okay? So have a look at some of these. Again, in your exit ticket, you're going to have to look at one more in detail. So check them out. Check them out, okay? One that I'm just going to comment, you guys, on is the Google Lit Trips. I think this is great. I love this site, but I just want to warn you. These are associated with Google Earth, okay? So if you want them to work correctly as you go through them, you would have to load Google Earth, make sure Google Earth was on your computer that you were viewing them on, and then you actually have to go in and I'll just go down here. Notice up in this right-hand corner, you actually download the application. Okay, and then all you're doing here is you're just signing up for it. It's okay. It's not going to hurt. You just say you're from the school and so forth. But you guys, they are really, really cool. And basically what they do is as students read the book, they follow along on these Google Lit trips so that you're seeing the geographic, the location of the characters in the book. Really cool. Okay, really cool. So if you don't have time to do it within this lecture, flipped lecture, I hope that you maybe take the time outside or take note of this and get it in your notes so that you remember it's something that happened. Okay, so that one's a little bit trickier, but hopefully some of you will try that out. Really, really cool. Okay, then the last thing is your exit ticket. Just open up the Google form, fill out the form, and then you will have completed this flipped lecture experience. Please have those completed by Monday, November 17th at 9 o'clock. Okay, so again, kind of that cutoff time so that I want to give you a deadline so that it's done before we have lecture then on Tuesday. I do include this extra reading in terms of the social studies learning activities, you guys. This again will give you a good idea for pedagogy and the content, and then notice again how these are organized. It gives you kind of that possible things that you can do with technology. So here again, here's the wiki. I'm sure web quests are mentioned in here as well somewhere, but it gives you some good ideas for social studies content and what to do with it. Okay, so that's the flipped lecture for today. I hope that what it does for you is it engages you again in learning more about what am I going to do in social studies, how am I going to teach social studies, and then what are some types of technology that we can use in the social studies curriculum. And again, don't forget things that we've done in the past. Those can be incorporated around the social studies content as well. Okay? So you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday.